Hi and welcome to a new video that's going to be solely based around building up from the back in the 9 vs 9 format. So this is focused on my girls U11 age group, so 10-year-olds, 10, 11-year-olds. So we've had a few problems this year building out from the back, and I found that a lot of teams at our age group are having similar problems. With the introduction of the new rule, it's still taking the new rule being you can play the ball inside the box now. So you can play to either your right back, left back, or into the centre backs. That ball can be, the first touch can be taken inside the box now. So before that, obviously we were having a lot of problems with. So for example, we've got our number 3 there, our left back. So we were taking the ball on this edge here, the edge corner of the box. We were playing a ball out to our number 3, and what was happening was the opposition players were quite easily getting the ball back or preventing the ball from getting through because they were sort of crowding into this sort of shape here. So they were pretty much just blocking off one side of the field because they knew which way the ball was going. Because we're very deliberate about how we about where we're going to place that ball along the line, so it's very easy for the opposition to sort of work out where that ball is going to go. And obviously when we're in this position here with the number 3, it's very, very difficult to try and find a pass, even if that number 6 comes in here to create a passing lane there. Having technical ability to be able to either play a first time pass in there or turn and play through, it's very difficult at this age group and this skill level. So and even trying to play that pass out to the wide player is very difficult. What we've seen happening quite a lot was when that ball goes out there, we end up passing the ball out of play. So that happened quite a lot. Even if we do on the same thing on the other side, on the right back side. So we're trying to think about different ways that we can sort of combat this. And one was, all right, let's start placing that ball in the centre of that 6 yard on that 6 yard line. And this creates a bit more decisions for the opposition, which is good. So we want the opposition to have decisions when it comes to this sort of thing. So when it comes to building out from the back. So one of the ways that we were looking to try and combat the problems we've been having with building from the back was starting the ball on the middle of that 6 yard line. So not being so deliberate with placing the ball on either side. Because it becomes very clear to the opposition straight away which side we want to play the ball to. So we were thinking, can we start that ball there and give the opposition a few decisions to make, and a bit more to think about. So I think having the ball in this position definitely gives them a few more things to think about. So, and it also means that pass is a lot shorter to the right or left back than it would be, for example, if they are outside of the box, how the rule was before. Because that ball is probably taking a bit longer to get from there to there, and a bit longer to get from there to there. Alright, and especially if the pass isn't good, they're really limited in the space they have on this side of the field, and they're also limited with the passing options, mainly only being there and there. So we're really cutting off the field when we do that. We're limiting to about 20% of the field, which is what we don't want to do. So we want to be able to have that field nice and open to us, and keep our options open. So one way that we need to, or one thing that we certainly need to do to make sure that we have these options available. So we mainly start in a 3-4-1 at the minute. So if you call the 5 the centre back, so if we just so we've got the back 3, so the left back, the centre back, the right back, and then we can see our 4 there. So our 2 central midfielders are the number 4 and number 6 in this example. And with the 8 being the left midfielder, 7 left midfielder, and your 9 staying up nice and high. So really the 2 needs to come back here almost in line with the goalie. Same with the 3. And then what we really need to do is, just so that we have another option here, let's see if we can put the 6 and the 5 in line, right, just on the edge of the box. Okay, so what this does, it creates that passing lane there. So we still got that because obviously the opposition has to start outside the box, so we can play that ball in there. Alright, if that ball goes in there, really what we're looking to do is take that ball on the back foot. So we should be looking to receive that ball on the back foot, open up, and then the left midfielder should be getting wide. Okay, the 6 can pretty much stay where they are. They want to hold their position because the 7's going to do that. Okay, so the 7's going to do that. One of their midfielders is probably going to be in here. The striker might get in front of the 6 if they're pretty clever. And they're going to shift over. They're going to shift over as soon as they see it. But we're hoping the reaction times aren't as quick as they would be if we were making it very obvious where we were going to go in the first place. So from this position, what we really want to try and get in is we want to try and get in these gaps in between the players. So we can either try and play that ball out nice and early to there, and then we can either turn, move that ball up the field, either dribble that ball up the field, or use the 6. That's going to bring a player over probably, which might create some space in there. So from this position again, if we just go back there, alright, so we need to make sure that the striker is moving over onto their right back. So if we're playing it to the left side of the field, the striker needs to shift over to create that sort of. Alright, we're trying to at least match them for numbers in there. As all this is happening, the 2 should probably look to come in straight away. Centre back should move over, and everyone should shift over a little bit. 7 can stay a bit wider, keep a bit of separation between you and their left back. And that looks not too bad. That shape's not too bad. We just need to make sure that first pass is good from the goalie. It needs to be flat, needs to be on the ground. If it's bobbling all over the place, it's going to be very, very difficult to control, which is going to mess up the whole thing. So we can do that from both sides. So same thing that would happen on the other side. So if we start again, so say the pass goes in this side instead. If we get the ball off nice and early, wide players always looking to get wide. And the 4 should come over, so that it's probably going to look a bit more like this. Alright, so we're always looking to try and create these options, these passing options. Wide is better, obviously. If we can get wide, we need to try and open up on that back foot, yeah, and create some options over here. Obviously, the 9's going to come down here. Maybe you can go into that space there, whether it's Maddie, whether it's Dylan, whoever's playing up front on the day as a striker. So you need to. It's really important that you need to move because you're going to be the highest out of all of us. All right, so the highest in the team. So we really need you as a passing option. We need you as an outlet. Whether that be playing the ball through, or whether it be playing it past you so you can run onto it. All right, so you really need to make sure that you're creating an option. So another one that we could do. So if we go back to that same shape as what we just had, so 9's back here, opposition's back here, they got their 2 in the middle. Alright, so a bit more like that. Okay. So another option that we explored on the weekend, and actually last Saturday it came off pretty well, was just passing it straight into the centre back. It's brave because you're going to be facing this way. So your body's going to be facing towards the goal. You need to try and make sure that you're angled slightly. So maybe you're sort of at a half angle, so you're sort of like that. So you're creating that body shape and this body shape. So if this being the way you're facing, create more of a shape into the middle, just so that when you receive, it doesn't take you so long to receive and turn out. So it's all really down to where the opposition are, that front 3. So they're gonna press up nice and high. If they're dropped off like this, all right. So if they're dropped off a little bit deeper, which some teams do, of course we want to try and play that into there, yeah, or into that side, because that's going to give us a lot more time to get wide, create options. But if they're pushed up nice and high, the option might be, can we get the ball straight into one of these wide players? So from here, we did try it in training a couple of times. If they push up there, so sometimes you might see this, so they're stopping because they want to be closest to that player. That's great, because that's going to give us a straight direct pass through to there. So that, or if we're going this side, through to there. So these players need to be really careful and aware of that. So say this is Leanne playing at centre back, and this is Kate or Eva, whoever's playing midfield. Right, you're dropping in with and then this will be another midfielder that's just sat there because we need to get some kind of depth. So we need to separate between the defence and the midfield a little bit. So at least one. So we're creating another line of attack there. That ball goes in there, then we're away. Then straight away we should be looking to push up, support Maddie coming to this side. All right, and then we can dribble. All right, so that's just a couple of things that we can start to think about when it comes from building from the back. And then similarly, when they've got the ball, that's what we're looking to do. So we're looking to try and block those passes. So they usually what we see a lot is from goal kicks. We see this. All right. So now if you imagine that we're the red team, so it's quite obvious what we need to do. We need to all shift over. So for example, like this. Something like that. We don't worry about the players on the far side of the field because the ball's going this side if we know that. If that ball goes in there, obviously number 8 here, she's going to be first to press, and then this 9's going to probably cover here, probably cut off that pass. So if the 9 pushes up to her, alright, what we're looking really first off is to either being able to win the ball or at the very least cut off that pass there. So we need to try and get in front of the players as well if we can. So we're cutting off the pass into there or there. Even better if we can do this. That's a situation that we got ourselves into a lot over the last couple of weeks. And then the only really option for the right back is to kick it out of play in case we get and then we get a thrown in their half, or they're going to lose the ball. So that's just a couple of things that I've observed from our games, and also the opposition as well. They make similar mistakes. So if you could just sort of try to get it into your head, try and understand this information, and try to recognise different situations on the field. But it's really important that we get this shape. So I'll put us back into the shape. So this is the shape that we're looking for from goal kicks. So we're the yellows. All right. So we've got the left back. So we've got the left back, the right back or right defender. We have the central defender. We have the defensive central midfielder. We have the other central midfielder, so that's playing up a little bit higher. We have the left midfielder, the right midfielder, and the striker. So we still have it. So we still have the 3-4-1. That's the starting formation. But from this situation, it looks more like a 2-2-3-1. So you can see that, right? So 2, 2, 3, and then the 1 up front. Alright, so that's just an idea of how what sort of shape we should be looking at from kickoffs. And it's just really important when that ball does go into one side that we react quickly and we start to shift over. We start to create options, because if we do that, then we start to create space. Alright, so hopefully this was useful. Just have a watch over it. It's not going to be a very long video, so have a watch over it. Try and watch it a couple of times if you can. And if you've got any questions, drop me a message. Alright, thanks guys.